Well, let's restart the recording, and in we go. Hey everyone, welcome back to Draki Cup 7. This is not actually coverage of the upper bracket, though. This is actually just going to be a little unofficial show match played between MarchWaden and Moose. And obviously, you know, spoilers, you should have watched the bracket first. But you know that these two players were both of our semi-finalists. MarchWaden somehow failing to beat me, even though he was in a very winning position for most of the games. Playing up here in the top as the Coalition. And then Moose here, playing Sauvon, with the kind of brown on brown colors. You love to see it. Gonna be a best of 5 show match between these two people for the sort of unofficial 3rd place. LEV Fab started from both sides here. It looks like the base runner are gonna be retained for Moose as MarchWaden actually retires it. Now he was playing Con F in pretty much every game that we saw before this one, so kind of interesting to see that he's going for a Coalition here instead. And then Moose, I think, was playing Galzian too, wasn't he? I guess I can't actually quite remember. I've sort of forgotten this. But I think in the matches against A-Game, he was playing Coalition. So this is kind of an interesting faction swap here. You love to see it. Could be kind of spicy here. And we do have carry production upgrade coming up from MarchWaden, so it looks like perhaps he plans to go for some LAV spam. I'm a little worried about this base runner here. He actually wants to catch this, he wants to catch this probe if he can here, right? Oh my gosh, how many people have we got viewing right now? This is crazy. Well, howdy. This LEV is going to hit this probe here. Uh-oh, he passed toward the base runner. That is going to be dead probe. So very, very nice for Moose here that he catches that that pickup there. Interestingly, base runners don't get XP from killing probes, but whatever. Looks like he may be running into a similar fate. Uh-oh. Okay, he does actually catch it here. MarchWaden's LEV's getting blocked by line of sight, because that makes sense. Because DOK things. But he moves the probe back in here, so he's actually going to get sniped. And I don't think he even got vision, so... Yeah, I don't really think that was worth it, but... It is what it is. Now he's going to actually go for a second base runner here. He canceled the production upgrade. He can still go for it if he wants. MarchWaden does have it. But if he hasn't got production upgrade yet, I've got a wager he goes for AV Fab instead. But he's going pretty aggressive across the field here, so I'm a little bit worried about this. He probably doesn't want to... Yeah, he doesn't really want to fight yet. Oh, he's got the targeting jammer, I suppose. I mean, he could make something insane happen, but it's unlikely. So, first little scuffle happening across the field now. He wants to get this artifact out here. You're in Boston? Oh, no. You have a Boston accent, don't you? No, I know you don't. I've already talked to you, but... My cousins used to live in Boston. Second base runner is out here. LAV narrowly escaping from the jaws of death. Oh, wait, he does anyway. Well, that's a feels bad man for sure. Targeting jammer is a bit late as well, so... MarchWaden definitely getting the upper hand in these early micro fights here. But maybe the space runner will actually manage to extract. Only problem is we still don't have any tech for Moose that's going to let him fight here. He needs to be getting AV Fab started up, right? I don't think things go well for him otherwise. And MarchWaden continuing to take some pretty good trades. He does have that assault pack as well. Looks like Moose actually committed to armor 1, but he doesn't have obviously the assault pack, which means MarchWaden can still win by good positioning right here. And the space runner just kind of awkwardly like, hey guys, don't know how I got here, but he is going to survive, of course. Loses about 400 HP though. But Moose is going to get this extraction out, so that's kind of nice for him. Still no tech though from either player, and we do finally have carry production upgrade coming up from Moose. But MarchWaden with the support cruiser, he looks to move up onto 2 base. Unless... No, there's no way, right? Is he going to go for a carrier rush here? He shouldn't. Okay, no, I think he's going to go back. That would have been insane if he did that. Obviously just because Moose has already got that extraction out, so he's got more power than him. And yeah, he hasn't crippled his opponent. He's done some damage, but he hasn't, like, destroyed him or something like that, so... That would have been a little bit ambitious, so he's going to back away for that. Moose should go for a gunship. I mean, hey, that would shut down these LEVs pretty well, I'm not going to lie. Oh boy, it's a follow. Oh, so that's who this shadow person is. I think I know you. Anyway, support cruiser about to pop out here from this carrier. And Moose will jump up onto 2 base as well. Oh, there's another support cruiser from MarchWaden, that's interesting. Maybe he plans to just, like, pop up to, God, it sweeps it into the chat. Maybe he plans to pop up onto, like, 3 base as fast as possible. Targeting Jammer is available here, by the way. It's going to be thrown out, but it's a bit of a miss. And actually, the upgrades are no longer, like, advantage to Moose here, so he can't even just, like, slaughter these LAVs. He doesn't have boost either, so MarchWaden can always get away if he needs to. Oh, okay, you know what? He's actually going for this SC to set up, like, his carrier, and then he's gonna... Or set up his, what do you say? Like, his third base, and then his carrier wants to move out here. These LAVs just about ready to boost, so they're actually gonna live. But Moose has got such artifact pressure. I feel like this is really sloppy for MarchWaden, because he should know he's probably not gonna win this if he goes for it. If Moose figures it out, he just starts teching power reserves, and he can fight that carrier all day. And so, I feel like he's in a window where he could go up to... Like, he could go up to 3 base here, right? And be really ahead of his opponent, but instead he's kind of trying for something funny here that I don't think is gonna work for him. He also has his power kind of misallocated as well. Okay, LAV is gonna slap down, well, an LAV, I guess. Don't know what I was going where I was going with that. Actually, these two base runners will extract, but if MarchWaden wants them, he could kill him here. It looks like he's gonna send his guys down to his opponent's base instead. Still, no tech, can you believe this, from either player? This is like madness. They're just only using one type of unit, this is crazy. Yeah, I mean, either of them should go for something which counters LAVs, because there's just so many of them on the field. Going for AV would not be bad, because when you get rails eventually you want those armor upgrades anyway. Going for fighter and gunship would be great, obviously. Yeah, no, you're totally right. Salvager gonna get ripped off the line here by this little slide through of LAVs. Moose still no assault pack, so there's really no chance he can chase these guys down. In fact, MarchWaden's got the numbers here. Not to mention he has the armor or the upgrades advantage by quite a margin here. And Moose, there we go. He is finally gonna tech now, so it will be fighter and gunship. He's gonna replace that Salvager that he lost. And MarchWaden kind of derping around with his carrier for a bit, but he comes back. He did get power 1 as well, but he's not gonna be using that. He's just moving up onto 3 base. So this is good. This is what I wanted to see him do. And yeah, as Captain Pink says, he does have AV Fab on the queue as well. Power 2 coming out also. Okay, so maybe he does want to commit into something here. I really don't think he should, though, because obviously with 3 extractions on Moose here, well, first off, there's pressure to end the game for him, which is pretty cool for Moose, because he could pick up 2 artifacts and win like this. But also, he's got so much power in this carrier. It's really not likely that MarchWaden can carrier rush him at all, so... Taking the carry power here just seems too early, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Targeting Jammer drops, but it's not terribly great. Again, the Assault Pack going to facilitate this targeting Jammer so much more, because you're going to let your LAVs get into position really, really quickly to capitalize. As it stands, uh-oh, MarchWaden... Oh, I see what he's doing here. Okay, yeah, he's going to sacrifice all these LAVs, but he really just feels like he's got to stop the Space Runner. So he does catch it, but at the expense of his army. And now he's got AV Fab, but like he invested into full LAV upgrades, didn't he? So like I feel like he really wants to actually keep building those. Not to mention there is air coming out. It's gonna be all Strike Fighter though, and I think that's the right choice. Because Moose has just seen, he just killed the entire army here, so... And yeah, he's going straight to AC. That seems risky though, because he could very easily lose a lot of stuff right here to these LAVs right now, in this window. And again, Assault Pack would have been so nice before, but he is finally gonna tech up to it, so he will have that on the way. At any rate, MarchWaden definitely losing mining off of his 3rd base. There's no way he's going to be able to mine here. Well, to be fair, assault cruisers can get anti-air, but he's not going to have it yet, that's for sure. This probe here is going to give him a little bit of advanced warning unless it gets killed by these LAVs, so that's really nice for Moose. That's actually pretty crucial. And MarchWaden teching really wide into upgrades here. He wants AV upgrades and LAV upgrades. He's got full, right, on the LAVs, so he really wants to keep building them. But he also is going into these AAV armor techs. Strike Fighter's gonna hit the armored units, though. I'm not a huge fan of that. It does kind of facilitate these LAVs to get in, but yeah, this is what I think he really wants, is these salvagers. The Space Runner gonna do a bit of damage. Actually, it's gonna catch a Strike Fighter. It's a little bit sloppy from Moose there. I reckon he could have gotten more damage here. I think he could have killed more salvagers than that, but... Still, this bodes quite well for him. Now, this Space Runner can pick up this artifact. This one, he's made another one, as you can see. Gonna go try to pick up this artifact over here. Again, that's a win condition, right? If he catches both of these, that's game over. So MarchWaden has to go for assault cruisers, I think, to really get control of this field again. But he also has to worry about anti-air now. This is kind of a tough scenario. And probably he'll be wishing he hadn't invested into these armor upgrades, because he'd really love the money to be building more assault cruisers and getting their anti-air upgrade. I feel like having armor on those AAVs doesn't really do much for him right now. And Moose is going to get the last damage upgrade and get these LAVs nice and chonky. I unplugged my monitor again. I was really worried for a second. I need to stop doing that. Just leave your feet under the table, not past it, alright? It's not that hard, Bozo. Anti-air turret is set up over here. These LAVs going to start chunking up the eco now. Actually, an AV spawned, but it did not use the smoke ability. But the strike fighters, actually, he's not going to lose any. So he did get warded off by that turret, but didn't take any losses. That's really nice for Moose. And he's going to kill this SC as well. And MarchWaden kind of floundering, I've got to say, like, he has to stop these extracts now. So he basically has to move his carrier in here. Oh no, if you go this way, you might just lose the game, because he has to stop this one. This is the GG artifact right here. There's no way he stops this one, right? There's no way. There's no way. So if he doesn't stop this, it's game over. He's got to realize. I mean, you guys know we've seen him lose to artifact extraction before, eh? Or no, wait, actually that was not what happened. He didn't extract them. Okay, right, never mind. Never mind, the analogy fails, but whatever. Okay, he is finally going to start moving that carrier out there now. But this is going to be tight. I mean, if he gets caught on this wreck... Oh dear, oh dear. Yeah, there's no AVs left. Yeah, actually, he doesn't even fancy his chances. He's just going to surrender. Dang, look at that. And so Moose actually takes game 1. Wowza. Well, that's not really what I was expecting. Oh dear, stream is having difficulty, but that's alright. It's probably okay. It's probably nothing. Probably. Technically, these will get uploaded to YouTube eventually, so it shouldn't matter too much. But let's load up game 2 here on Canyon Outpost. Let me read this info.txt real quick as well, because I'm interested in how the... My friend asks, he just exploded? It's not on stream chat, but she's watching too. Yeah, so if you surrender in the game by like hitting this and then quit, your carrier just like blows up. So that's kind of like how it ends the game for you, which is interesting. Anyhow, so Moose picks Sauvon first and MarchWaden picked Coalition second. So this was a counter pick, but it doesn't look terribly convincing so far, does it? And Moose banned Torin, MarchWaden banned Firebase Krill, and then they picked all these. MarchWaden going for Canyon Outpost in game 2, and then Galzian Territories in game 3. I mean, you know this map is not really a bastion of aggression, and as you can see, he is in fact going to go for SC first, whereas Galzian Territories is quite the opposite, so... I don't know, it's an interesting pick-ban phase. But yeah, I feel like MarchWaden really playing kind of an off action here. You can tell he wasn't... I don't know, it felt like he wasn't quite comfortable with like what his units could do in that last game. Maybe I'm overthinking things, we'll have to see what happens. MarchWaden, by the way, with the base runner retire once again, but this time no probe. That means he is going to get up to eco a little bit faster than his opponent, but he should be slightly less safe to some kind of an early rush. As I did say though, this is not exactly the most aggressive map in the game, is it? Pretty long rush distance, and you can't move that carrier over for like a really strong follow-up across this middle point. So I feel like he gets away with this probably. And as you can see, this is the advantage that he's gotten. That sport cruiser's out here, but MarchWaden already closer to his base, but that sport cruiser out a little bit faster, so he is ahead. Whoa! Hey there! Hey there! This guy's going places. I rarely see it get this high. Oh my god. He fired a jetpack. Oh jeez. Okay, I think he's finally hit his zenith. We're far enough away that terrain is like failing to render over there. Oh my gosh. Free falling. Ah, classic. DOK, never change. Never change. The skybox is the limit. Yeah, exactly. Oh, jeez. I love this. This is what I cast for. Well, this probe here from Moose can be checking out what he can see over on MarchWaden's side. It is going to be AV tech coming out, and it's not likely... Oh, I take it back. An LAV pops here. Yeah, so MarchWaden actually succeeds in holding this probe off of scouting his tech. So, Moose does not know that yet. Railfab coming out for him now. And it's going to be AV Fab from MarchWaden. Railfab actually kind of interesting off of second base. It's much more common to go for either AVs or fighter and gunship. If you go for Railfab, you have to worry sometimes you're just going to die to air, but he seems comfortable with it, so this is what he's going for. He's going to want to drop down a logistics module there. Yeah, there you go. And he is going to start filling out, it looks like, his third base, but he wants to get this extraction. And again, last game, he won through extractions. I mean, this is clearly, you know, this is a threat I think MarchWaden is going to take more seriously this time. But he is, for now, going pretty greed. And so another Sport Cruiser popping out. So yeah, he wants to get up onto third base as fast as he can. And I reckon you don't want to move the carrier over here. I think you probably want to move the SC over there. Oh, he's doing this weird thing again, though. He kind of wants to move his carrier out into the middle. You know, actually, now that I think about it, this is something we saw him do all the time as he was playing Galzy in Con F2, right? He would, I guess maybe in this case he's actually doing it as a response to this logistics module getting picked off, but... He would move his carrier out after he got up to 2 base rather than locking the carrier down onto the third. Right? I mean, you noticed this, yeah? Like, it was kind of an interesting choice that he would do. This is like a kind of every game type of thing. By the way, little scouting LAV here gonna get picked off. He does know his opponent is on greed of some kind. And he takes the logistics module, look at that. So that's actually really annoying for MarchWaden to deal with, as he's got to deploy another one of those now to get himself unfleet capped. But it's gonna be straight into ACs once again, look at this. Really interesting plays here from MarchWaden. I guess I'm not exactly sure, like, what he's going for. Well, that first artifact does extract now for Moose. Brings the scoreline to 1-0, gets him a little bit of carrier power, and these are all things which were pretty impactful in the last game. Another LAV just being super annoying here. It's just like, he's just being as annoying as possible. I love this. This is exactly what you want to do when you're playing, right? If you can make your opponent doubt their existence, you're in a good place. Meanwhile, Moose is going to be moving his carrier up over here onto the third base instead of leaving it on the second. I actually would do the opposite, right? Because obviously the carrier can't go through here, so I would be like ready to move the carrier this direction, somewhat of a lower distance, but it's not a huge deal. Is he gonna get this logistics module too? No. Oh my gosh, that would be so annoying for MarchWaden. He's gonna send the Sport Cruiser over, but it may be too late. Ugh. Oh my gosh! He's gonna get it. Oh no. This one LAV doing so much work for Moose here. This is insane. Finally gets slapped down by this carrier, but oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. Yeah, hero LAV, seriously. Heavy vehicle upgrades coming out here as well now for Moose. He apparently has gone for AV tech. No, just carry. You know what they say. For the hero, there is no death. Alright? For the hero, there is no death. And, by the way, another kind of symptom of this, like, very annoying stuff that he's been doing with these LAVs, kind of pulling his opponent around, is look at this. This base runner is going to extract. He actually could have stopped this, I guess, with these two AVs, but, like, again, he won the last game basically on those artifacts, right? And he's getting his second one out here. This is really good for... This is really good for Moose. And I've got to say, by the way, I didn't think he would be the favorite in this series, but so far, he's definitely winning, right? And he's got the spicy Saban rails here now, which are just great units in general, if you didn't know. Fighter and gunship gonna come out from MarchWaden, though, so that's the answer to this. But, like, what does he do about this, actually? It seems like a pretty small force here, but really, I don't know if MarchWaden is gonna be able to really hold them off terribly well. There's no Mag Excel, that's the good news for him. Oh, there's an AC. Okay, that could actually change things. If he smokes up again, uses the overcharge. Yeah, I should definitely use the overcharge here. He wants to get in as close as he can now. It's gonna be Tech Missile Barrage instead. Not a big fan of that. Yeah, it's not gonna land on anything really. But hey, at least he gets control over the choke point here, so it's not like he's gonna be... It's not like he's gonna be really, like, you know, forced off of his third base now by this. Except he is kind of moving the carrier that way. He wants to undo that, I would suggest. And this AC is going in too deep as well. Really just back this guy away. Like, oh no. Oh no, MarchWaden, what are you doing? That's an expensive unit. You hate to see it. Mag Excel is done, so that obviously was helping Moose there. Oof. Well, Tac Bomber Fab coming out. Oh my gosh. That's an interesting choice. Well, I mean, it could be good against Rails, I guess, but I think, like, Strike Fighters will be good already, so he kind of doesn't need to be moving straight to, like, this, you know, very far away tech. He's got another AC popping, though, I'm pretty sure, right? A couple Rails here, by the way, for Moose over on this side, trying to get something done, but there are a couple LAVs here, which maybe will be enough to fight them off. Oh no, that's not an AC, that's a support cruiser. Oh no. And by the way, I really love what he's doing, just holding this AAV inside of the smoke to try and give visions that his railguns can shoot. He nearly kills that support cruiser with it. And this is just like so freaking annoying for MarchWaden to deal with. And now the LAVs come up here and he's actually not even going to lose this fight. This guy's a freaking captain, what the heck? Hold on a second. Beat Navy, am I right, Shadow? Well, what? Okay, whatever. But yeah, this is so annoying for MarchWaden, and he still has not managed to deal with this artifact here, so this is really, really troublesome. And his carrier is starting to take, like, some actually significant damage. Still no marked target being used from Moose, which is something I'd like to see, obviously. If you don't know the math on that, anytime you have 4 railguns... No. Ah, shoot, let me think about this. Yes, anytime you have 4 railguns or more, using marked target is better. But yes, Just Carrier is correct. There's no anti-air here for Moose. So I think we're about to see a bit of a power swing here. No, not the SC. No, okay. If he targeted that support cruiser, that would have been a real choke. So we're about to see a bit of a power swing here as the army for Moose is going to get thinned down. I don't know if he had vision on Carrier. He probably should have known that there was some anti-air, though. But he's going to take in a missile battery now for what it's worth. But yeah, MarchWaden should be able to thin down these numbers quite a lot. But still, though, that means third artifact is extracting for sure. Are we going after LAVs? No. Oh my gosh. Are we going after Carrier? Okay, here we go. This is a more worthy target. All right. And actually, he will be able to kill the support cruiser as well. So this is going to be quite a lot of army lost here. But still, you can see on the units lost tab favors MarchWaden, but not by a whole lot. And this freaking captain, he doesn't care that he's on 22 HP. He's gonna go for it. This isn't Apollo 11 or 1. No, it's Apollo 1. You don't have to just die in your flaming cockpit. You can you know, get out and get healed and whatever. Oh well, he didn't get the memo, so he's just gonna drive on in here. These AVs a little bit slow on the rotate as well. This is gonna be bad for. This is going to be bad for MarchWaden. Now, one of these strike fighters should just finish off this SC before there's too much anti-air here. Please kill it. Yeah, he sees, but he's kind of made a mess of the micro here. Okay, he is going to catch it, though. But he loses some strike fighters there that he really didn't need to, and these LAVs are just doing whatever the crap they want. Oh, yeah, and he's going to surrender once again. And he just can't handle the pressure from Moose here. That's not at all what I expected to be saying, but look at this. Moose is really killing him. This is great DOK here that we're seeing from Moose. And the fact that he constantly has this artifact pressure, but manages to pressure on the other side to make the artifacts able to get out, that's so good. Oh dear. Well, let's move on to game 3, but like, that could be the last. Can you believe this? Whereas I really thought MarchWaden was the favorite for this series. March is gonna be so mad, yeah. I agree. But I mean, that's honestly something you really have to think about with this, like, series mentality. I talked about that so much back in, like, the vanilla days, because obviously I think it mattered a little bit more. Not again. This is so tragic. Can we get 3 likes? But yeah, back in vanilla, the series mentality was, like, this really important concept, because obviously your opponent was kind of trying to like blind counter like what strats you were going for, but like it was really a big deal to get into your opponent's head, right? I don't know, like I feel like we don't see that so often in vanilla, but that's kind of what's happened, or sorry, in patch, but that's kind of what's happening here too. LAV Fab, by the way, started for Moose. We got 1 on RUs, 4 on Cs. This is obviously going to be LAV spam, so he does want to go aggro on this map. If you're not calm, it doesn't matter how good you are. Yeah. Well, strangely, there are some players, I think, who actually kind of thrive on being really angry, you know? Like in some kind of anime or whatever. But, like... exactly, right? Empty Soul is exactly what I was thinking of. But for most players, I'd say that's definitely true. Like, you noticed in my series with MarchWaden, right? I think I definitely won the last 2 games because I won the 3rd game, right? It wasn't really... I don't know how you say. With the power of friendship, nothing can stop ooh. Let's see, LAV's starting to spring out across the map here. We do have a bit of a diversion. What am I thinking of? Oh my gosh, I can't think of the word for this. He's doing something different from MarchWaden here. And in fact, he's moved that base runner out across the field. But Moose with some pretty nice predictions saying like, hey, if he has a base runner, it's going to be here, right? So he goes out. Hey, look, there it is. And this is kind of unfortunate, obviously, for MarchWaden. He doesn't want to be losing this for nothing, obviously. Surprisingly, losing units for nothing is a bad thing in DOK. But yeah, he may well just lose this base runner for nothing at this point. Really needs to back this guy up then. He's going to be chasing down this probe instead. Which, you know, that's fair. You do want to catch that. But AV Fab coming out from Moose here, so he feels he's gotten all the info he needed already. There's a... Base runner is still out on the field, right? We have, 2 guys mining CUs long distance, no support cruiser. This is probably LAV spam. And AV Fab is going to be a really, really nice counter to this. Whoa. We got another one. Oh, he snapped back down to the ground once we looked. Yeah, but this base runner, I think, is actually going to survive. Amazingly. Wow, look at this. Yeah. Oh, because we were looking for a 3v3, but it's too late for that. But hey, welcome to the stream, Orb. Haven't seen you in a while. Targeting Jammer dropped here in a very annoying position. This is kind of nice for Moose. We saw him with a lot of Targeting Jammers in Game 1, but that's a very good positioning there. Targeting Jammers are so fun to play with. Like, I really hope we see Moose get some really, like, pog moments with these things like he did in that one game I was casting between him and Let's Rock, I think it was, right? Where he, like, stopped that base runner from getting out. That was so freaking cool. That's what I want to see, Targeting Jammer-wise. Does he manage to hold this... Hold the ground, man. Just hit the H. No! Ugh. Okay, so this artifact is going to get out just barely. And that is going to be an important pickup for Moose, obviously, as we know. Again, that pressure on the artifacts has been such a key point throughout this whole series already, so I mean, it's not like that's a small deal for him to pick up that first artifact there. Losing the base runner, though, good for MarchWaden, means for a little bit of time now he doesn't have to worry about you know, this advantage of Moose's snowballing. But now he does have to answer these AVs on the field, and if Moose is thinking about it, I think he should go right to 2 base. March should go straight to air. Yeah, probably. I mean, well, I don't know. Like, railguns are not a bad pick either. The problem with going air against AVs is that your first air reveal kind of gets, like... It gets used up entirely on these AVs, right? And then your opponent has already got AV tech, so he can go straight into missile battery, too. So I feel like maybe it's not really the most potent, like, to go for air on the back of, like, an AV push like this. But I don't know. We'll see. I think for Moose, though, definitely, like, I would cancel this. I'd just go straight for Support Cruiser. Because if you can get up onto 2 base now, you're gonna be sitting pretty, right? Whereas MarchWaden, actually, look at this. He's on 2 base. I didn't notice that. He's got that base runner as well, healed up here. You thought you were on 2 base. Oh, no. That makes a lot more sense. This base runner, though, getting too far forward. Like, if he's right next to these AVs and drops the turret and it just instantly dies, you... Whoa. You nearly just tipped over. Did you see that? Was that just me? Oh my gosh. That would have been tragic. Probe here tries to scout what's going on, sees that second support cruiser. But it is going to be warded off now. And actually, MarchWaden favors taking a fight with these AVs. I feel like he'll never trade efficiently that way. Base runner, not really where it wants to be. It's going to power slide again, start pulling away here. Battle cruiser Fab from Moose, holy crap. Yeah, I mean, you can definitely see, like, yeah, don't tip over in the sand, you'll never get back up. Now, you can see, you wouldn't go for BC Fab off of 1 base, so yeah, I see what you mean. You thought you were on 2 this whole time. That's tragic, man. Rail Fab is done, by the way, for MarchWaden. Now, with Rails, he will be able to push on these AVs. And you can see, again, he's really, really focused on getting rid of this extraction pressure. But we've seen in the other games how Moose is able to play on the fact that MarchWaden is dealing with this extraction pressure to get damage on the other side of the map. And so here he comes with a couple of AVs, and this is exactly what he wants to do. Very cerebral, right? He knows, like, he understands what's going on right now. And smoke going to be deployed here to try and save this base burner as well. And MarchWaden, this is going to be close if he wants to focus fire the base burner down. No, he doesn't seem to want to even try for it. And Moose is going to get that extract as well. He actually moved in kind of a suboptimal way. He should have gone like straight here and then extracted on that point. But it's whatever, he does get that extract out. And now, not only that, but look at this, he's going to get this damage because this army is going to reach the base. And there's really nothing here to stop him. And so this is just, again, this is really, really good for Moose. Yeah, he needs to be pulling eco back here, because obviously you're going to start losing these guys. He doesn't have the assault pack either, so he's not going to be able to boost here. Oh, hey, it's A-game. Hello, sir. But yeah, 2 salvagers lost already. He's going to lose the logistics module as well. And these LAVs, again, are just never going to trade efficiently against the AVs either. So, I mean, this is kind of dire for him now. So, yeah, he kind of needs to, like, win a carrier push now, right? And that's indeed what he's doing. Because it just feels like this is not going to go away. So he's got this really big problem on his doorstep. Unless he can inflict, like, equal or more damage here, I feel like he's in a really bad spot. But to be fair, this is Moose with no rail fab, right? And he is going to start teching power, which is what he should do. You can see he considered building a battlecruiser. He's got the tech for it, but just too long, right? Just too long. I mean, if he was going to build that, he would need to have it, like, halfway done already. One AV finally going to get plucked down here, but it looks like this one is going to just have free reign on, like, the second base as well. So, if Moose can survive this, he's kind of already won, but I don't think he can. Well, the LAVs are going to do their best. Oh, man, this is actually going to get really close. And this is for the win, too, mind you. Like, of the series. If Moose wins this, he wins the whole series, right? Oh, boy. Is he? Probably. MarchWaden's focus firing, alright. Another rail pops out, but it's maybe not even going to get a shot off. Yeah, I think that was a waste of money. He probably wants to be looking to go up to power 2 at this point. And for sure, though, he needs to continue shadowing this carrier, just get right on top of it. Man, I missed a lot. Yeah, this is potentially the ace match. It's 2-0 right now for Moose. But power 2 teching here, as well as this artifact extracting, I think that MarchWaden wins this. Support cruisers are being spammed here. This is what Moose wants to do. He's trying to get as much healing on this carrier as he can get. This is insanity, by the way. LAVs here, they recognize, yeah, we can't do anything over there. We might as well go and try and kill off a bit of eco if we can. But it's a little too late because power 2 has already been queued. Wow. This is crazy. Yeah, see, that's what I was saying too, A-game, right? Like, I'm telling you, Moose and MarchWaden have both been, like... From what they did in the last tournament to, like, what they've done in this tournament, it's, like, night and day. You know what I mean? So fun to see that. But Moose should win... MarchWaden should win this. He just needs to right-click on that carrier, right? He's got the DPS for it. Oh, hey, Houston came back. How nice. And this time it is Moose who will explode. Still tragic, right? But... 100 HP left. Down he goes. You know, Captain Pink, I agree. I think Moose is dead here. But yeah, that is going to be game 3. What a freaking game, this one. Because, like, what he was doing was, like, so textbook from the other games where he got these extractions out and he got the damage on the other side, but this time just didn't quite respect... Gone but not forgotten. Miss ya, big man. R.I.P. Yeah, he didn't quite respect the carrier pull over here. And so, because, like, no rail tech going BCs off of one base, it just wasn't enough. And he managed to, you know, he managed to get killed, actually, by MarchWaden. So that's going to bring it to game 4. What if he had not canceled the battlecruiser? I think he wouldn't have been able to kill the rails fast enough. I think he would have died faster in that case. I guess it's hard to say, though. I'm like, maybe it would have been better for him, but I think that that was probably the right choice for him. Let's see here. Moose's pick, obviously, this next map, gonna be Kartoba Alt. MarchWaden picking the Shallows for the ace match, by the way. I didn't mention that before, but that's kind of an interesting call here, because usually that's the map that we're all trying to avoid. But MarchWaden has it all to do. He must win this game and the next one if he wants to win this show match series here. It didn't ban Shallows. Shake my head. Yeah, no, I mean... Orbnet, of course, in particular, hates the Shallows, we all know. Which is funny, because you like to go macro, don't you? But, yeah, I don't know. It's not common to see that map in play. That's why, of course, we're making the new layout for it. What do you mean, different maps? They're all just sand. Also, use stream chat, would you? It's just so much more convenient. Everyone else can see what you're saying, too. No, you're right. It's all just sand. I guess I see what you mean, A-game, right? Because, like, obviously... Oh, hey, there you are. Interesting username, by the way. But yeah, like, obviously on Shallows, you kind of, like, want to base trade with people, right? And, like, you really want to, like, go for getting control of, like, the artifact zones and stuff really early, because if you can hold them, it's, like, really, really easy to just continue to extract, right? But, yeah, I don't know, like, obviously the early game is so counter to rushing that it's, like, it's kind of like a 2-base timing or 3-base timing map based on how you want to play it, right? I find that Greed just works really, really well on the Shallows. But it's like, I don't know, people who like playing macro are not necessarily going to like Shallows either, you know what I mean? It's just not the best map, you know? I think we can all agree on that. By the way, it's going to be Support Cruiser after about 5 LEVs here from Moose, right? He does have that base runner out here on the extract as well, of course. Now, we know why he's doing this, right? Because obviously this is an eco build, but it's also going to allow him to have the field control to be confident getting extractions as fast as he can. And, if you hadn't noticed this before, this is kind of an important point in this series that he's been getting these extracts, right? So, this is, I think, a really smart play from Moose here to say, like, oh no, this is a really unsmart play, though. I've mentioned this before, but it's not true that your eco is better for doing this. Just keep it on the base until the production cruiser is, or the support cruiser is done, right? This is kind of like what we call eco suicide, so you don't want to be doing that, but that's all right. Everyone deserves a bit of forgiveness. But I think it's a smart play to kind of go for eco, but also have the field control to get extractions out, except he's kind of moved these LEVs off to the other side of the map now. And he can go for a little bit of pressure here, but obviously he may lose this base runner before it extracts, so I'm gonna take back everything I said. Horrible, worst in the world, don't ever do it. No. But I think this is not as smart as it could have been. He had the right idea, I think maybe the wrong execute, right? Support Cruiser gonna manage to kill one of these LEVs, does catch one of the salvagers off. 1 for 2, I guess? I mean, you'd probably say this is worth for Moose, but he is still gonna lose this base runner, there's just no arguing that, right? Like, MarchWaden would have to really fall asleep to let this get out, right? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. No, 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 no. Oh my gosh! You're jesting. What? Oh no. Oh, how the great are fallen. That's terrible, actually. Oh, jeez. Yeah, and he's having a bit of trouble holding keeping things saturated on the bases as well. Oh no. Yeah, they didn't derp there. They just didn't have move orders. I've seen that behavior before. By the way, Assault Pack done early for Moose this time. That's what I criticized him for not doing in Game 1, so I love to see it. He's getting that damage upgrade as well. And it's true, he got a little bit lucky that MarchWaden didn't punish this, but he has kind of reached the conditions he wanted, which is that he's not really behind in eco. In fact, he's actually a little bit ahead. And he has that extraction. So this is exactly what Moose was looking for from this opener. Really, really good start from him in this game. And again, if he wins this, he wins the series. So this is for all the marbles, if you want to say. MarchWaden, meanwhile, going for like a bit of a counterattack here, but he can't quite find anything. Obviously, Saban Carrier not the best against Strikecraft, but he does have that one artifact. Gee, I wonder why. And so he does have some power to play with here. He's going to be able to sort of ward off these LEVs. And a second base runner produced by Moose as well. Going to immediately start heading out onto the middle of the map. Oh, You hate to see it. You hate to see it. Now, MarchWaden, meanwhile, with AEV tech, would not be surprised to see him begin building some of those pretty much right now. Actually, he's going for a salvager at the moment. He doesn't seem to realize he's actually going to get attacked here. Like, Moose isn't just going to leave, but actually that gives MarchWaden a bit of a window up here onto the main base. This is a little bit of a miss for Moose. He didn't quite realize that this was going to happen. Well, fight them off, yeah, but you're going to lose some salvagers, right? And actually, MarchWaden's kind of microing this a little bit sloppy. He's moving these guys out of line of sight, so they didn't get all of their shots off that they should. Oh my gosh, I thought he didn't kill that salvager. So he's playing this a little bit messy as well. And meanwhile, Moose here just playing it a little bit better. He's obviously got the upgrade, so he's going to be able to do more damage. But he catches a salvager for free here, whereas MarchWaden loses that whole LAV backstab there just from some bad micro, really. He was like moving over this ridge here and like losing losing line of sight on them, I think trying to avoid the ALM, but it just wasn't worth it. He does have AVs out now, but it just really feels like Moose is outplaying him, and again, this is not what I expected to see, but bravo, Moose. You're doing it. I mean, this is like top tier DOK. I love it. Railfab coming out now for Moose. Why are they building LAVs and Coalition Mirrors? Well, it is a little bit odd to see, like, especially Game 1 was a little bit strange. But that has become a little bit more meta. The LAVs got a buff, and so they're stronger in the CBC matchup than they used to be. Couple AVs, by the way, moving out across the field for Moose here, who invested, by the way, quite heavily into these LAV upgrades, so it's not surprising. He doesn't really have the armor upgrades here. But yeah, that is obviously going to hurt his ability to do this backstab here. But the thing is, he's actually pulling back, but like, MarchWaden has got no vision on this. And so this is actually, like, he could kind of make this work. Again, he has this artifact pressure once again. Oh boy, somebody else followed. One second. He has this artifact pressure again. Oh, Captain Pink, you weren't following me? Oh, I feel so disappointed. 50 RUs lost on both sides. That's crazy. That's like, what is that actually? I don't even know. Oh, a base runner, right? But yeah, he's got no vision on anything really, and so these AVs are able to just kind of march up the side here. March up to MarchWaden. And Battlecruiser Fab, what? That's bonkers, man. I don't know if he gets away with this. This is such a low tempo move. I mean, he's got to be in control of the field from here on out. And he needs to move these AVs out, make no mistake. He's got to have more armor, army, he's got to have field control. This feels a little bit out of touch. He's got to deal with this right now. Like, these guys not moving is crippling. Meanwhile, Salvager's possibly going to go down here on the main base. AV's out, though, so he can smoke them. That's what he should do, and he does. Ah, but MarchWaden, you gotta do something about these artifacts, right? I mean, if he lets the scoreline go to 4-0, this is really, really bad for MarchWaden, right? Okay, he finally starts moving, but this is so late. He could have been there ages ago. I'm really worried for MarchWaden. I don't think he gets out of this. He may just lose to artifacts again. Now, he's getting ready to move his carrier out, it looks like. But again, this is such a low-tempo move. And indeed, he's going to back away with these AVs. Yeah, he's just going to let these extract. And then look at how close this artifact, which hadn't been picked up yet and is ready to grab, is like that close to the extraction zone. This is really bad. Der Angriffsstein ist, wird das alles in Ordnung kommen, ne? Das war ein Befehl! Yeah, but no, this is quite bad for him. He's gonna have to pull off a miracle, basically. He doesn't have the army to win this, and this base runner's right there. And yeah, he's trying to BC drop. Like, this is just so... This is never gonna work. Oh, MarchWaden. Captain BC couldn't find enough forces to mount his counterattack. Okay, he's finally moving these AVs out now. A bit of smoke. Yeah, it was a best of 5. Targeting Jammer catches these AVs in a really good spot. They have to move back down across the side. And yeah, they did make the folder, so I didn't know how many games were in it. Ah, yeah, he can't stop it. I mean, there's just no way. R.I.P. Shallows, right? Yeah, I mean, there's just no way he stops this. Oh, no. Just where was the army, you know? This is such an out-of-touch play to go for, like, a BC drop. And, like, to be fair, if the game would keep playing here, he would actually probably win from this position. Because I think he's gonna just crush his opponent right now. But, like, just doesn't matter. He needs to teleport units. He still has a chance, he can do it! No, that is gonna be the game. And, like, that little misplay with the LAVs in the beginning literally just cost him this game, right? Oh, no. Tragic, man. But Moose actually gonna win it 3-1. Crazy, man. Well, Moose, I gotta say, well done. That was freaking great DOK. Yeah, I mean, you really surprised me. I didn't think you had much of a chance in these, yeah, I didn't think you had much of a chance in this series here, and yet here we are. You've won, so... This is pretty well done. Yeah, you'll see in game 1, actually, that, like, a lot of the targeting jammers just miss, so it's kind of interesting. And, yeah, I, too, think March made a lot of mistakes here. I don't think Moose would have beaten, say, like, A-Game, for example, in this, like, playing the same style, but... Bonkers, man. Well, good games to all the players, and that is it.